Welcome everyone. It is John the Net Guy. Tech Day Live number 412. 412. Show number 412. Lots of cool products to show you today. It's Hot Tech of the Week. So every week I put together a selection of cool tech, home, and tool products, things that you can use for your car, maybe you can use on your network here. I've got some really interesting networking stuff. I put it together a show. It's about an hour if everything works right. Later, you may see me on Amazon looking just like this because I take this content and I put it in with those products to make a single-digit commission. I just ran the numbers. I think I made an average of $3 per live show. So the live shows don't really do it, but it is great to work with you guys, answer your questions. There's lots of really cool tech that we get to play with. I'm going to check the chat and see who's here. Finally, 10 GBE. We'll talk about what that means here in a bit. American is there. I see a couple other people checking in. Yes, I am a little bit late, only because of my slow non-10 gig network. No, actually, I had to move some things around. So let's see. Ron Morris checking in. Loud snoring noises. Yes. We are in. And another person from the show, Jonathan Talks Hardware. Great creator. If you haven't checked his website, he does a lot of personal tech videos. He's also done some PC build videos and PC hardware videos. Look to see some more coming from Jonathan, but he's got to graduate too. He said he's doing finals and a bunch of other cool stuff. So check him out if you can. If you want to see what is available today, take a look at that ticker that's just going to keep scrolling by here. That's where most of the products are going to be linked to. If you're on Amazon, I got to go back over here and kick you off. Well, start the show off on Amazon. It has to do some weird connection stuff. I got to bounce something off some swamp gas and Venus, and you know how that goes. I'm just going to go ahead and click it a couple times until it decides to work. And hopefully, there we go. You see a copy of me. I'm going to open up my live app and I'm going to tell it to start streaming to Amazon here. And if you're on Amazon watching, you're going to see a carousel. So a carousel of products. Back in the day, they actually used to put us on the Amazon page, which was kind of cool. So we'll see if we get the little red light here. We do. So we're going to go live on Amazon right now. 3, 2, 1. Welcome, Amazonians, if you're just checking in. Tech Day Live 412. We got a ton of products coming up here. Tech Day 412. Welcome. And if you are on Amazon, you just got notified in your Amazon app that I went live. That's another really cool thing that happens here. If you follow on Amazon, taking a quick look. Oh, Jonathan Talks Hardware. Next Thursday is graduation. Congratulations, my friend. I've got another product coming your way here as well. So maybe we get a graduation gift added to that. I am going to kick the show off with a very cool product. I need to pull it up on the Amazon cart real quick. And that is something that was sent out to me for a fair and honest review. But honestly, when I get some products that I needed anyway, it's always a win-win scenario. And I was really interested in this product. And it is an office chair. And you're like, okay, what's cool about an office chair? Well, I just got back from PDX land where I was hauling chairs down and I got to see every kind of chair and everything in between. And I've done some gaming chairs for you guys, but I haven't got something that doesn't look boy racer-ish. And something that actually looks very similar to the Herman Miller series, if you're interested in those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here and show you live my Amazon page. We're going to go see the product. I'm going to show you how I put it together, and then I'm going to show you my thoughts of it and a little video of me using it. So we're going to go over to the PC here. This is the show page. If you visit that link that you saw in the corner, you'll see me up here in this corner. And if you go down here, you'll see show 412 is listed right there. And you can see the first product that's up is from HEPA. It's the P3 Ergonomic Office Chair. Now, it's a very good selling office chair already. They've got the upgraded and the Supreme model. The Supreme model has a footrest. These footrests, I'm not really sold on, honestly. That one's available for the same price if you do want the footrest. But I'll tell you what, the look of this office chair actually looks business. So I was really excited to get it, put it through some paces, put it together, and see how it did. Now, it actually does have very similar to the Herman Miller's lower lumbar support, and it's actually really, really good. So I'll tell you about that as we assemble it. It does have a headrest. This is about the price of the headrest add-on for the Herman Miller. So it's just ridiculous that the whole chair can be had for the price of a Herman Miller add-on. Now, it does have a breathable back, and the bottom is going to be actual foam. So the Herman Miller Aeron that I have, the bottom is actually also breathable. So that is one slight difference, but it does have complete armrests. Another really important thing, a lot of the cheaper gaming chairs only have two mounts where they mount the armrest. This one actually has a traditional tripod mount, and you can see here you can lean way back on it safely. It also has an all metal leg construction, which is something you almost never see anymore. But I'm going to take you guys back over here. We're going to take a quick look. I actually have some video I can roll. I'm just looking at some of the chat here. This is awesome. So I'm going to pull up our video stream here of actually putting the chair together, because it's not that hard to put together. Total time took me 30 minutes to get the entire chair start to finish put together. But I'm going to be here. I'm going to narrate, and we're going to get to see what that looks like. So that's me in a cuter form earlier, putting the chair together. Comes in a box, pretty reasonable size. And what's interesting is some of the pieces are already put together. So you can see here, I'm kind of just laying out the parts, seeing what's available. That's the back and headrest unit. Is all kind of comes all in one. And then there's the base. The base comes pre-assembled with the gas strut controls, and really almost everything is ready to go. They give you all the tools. And one of the things I noticed was actually that the bag of screws is much smaller than in other ones because there's much less to do. So this is me kind of just prepping everything, getting it all ready. And then I'll go ahead and get the bag of screws out, get the instructions, which are actually very detailed, easy to follow. There is one correction I'll tell you about in them. And I start putting it together. So it's a 5-star leg base, but the casters on there just pop right in like normal. And there are going to be 10 screws that you have to put in on the bottom. I'm just going to show you a couple here, and then we're going to skip over to the next step where I put the wheels on. But you go ahead and put those screws in, and they give you that tool, and it's actually got a real long Allen handle, so it's pretty easy to zip through these pretty quickly. Oh, looks like I didn't skip forward too much of this. So you're going to get to see me putting them in at about 8 times speed. I popped the little legs on there. So I've got the wheels and then the gas cylinder. Be careful with these gas cylinders. They can hurt you or pinch you. Just make sure you place it in there. Has a really nice chrome cover that goes over it. And then the next step is just putting the arms on, which has, again, 3 points of contact. Every screw in here actually has Loctite on it, which I thought was a really nice touch. I've told you that in other chair videos, that those are the things that loosen up. And if I don't see Loctite, you're going to be chasing loose screws on these chairs all the time. So again, $199 is the price on this one right now. It may go up or down. I don't have a discount code for you today, but overall, a great value in a chair. I thought that was really neat. So I put the other side on here. This one's a little harder. You can see I'm going a little bit slower because that handle's kind of in the way of that last screw mount. So that took a little bit. And then you work on the back. So the back is going to go ahead and attach to the base there. So I got the base up and looking at that. The back piece fits to connect the top and the bottom. Be real careful you don't do what I just did right here, which is slap it on there with the curve facing away or towards the back. You want to flip it over, because I'm going to have to go back and do that now. I kind of, figure out my mistake here. There is a setting here for height adjustment, so higher or lower. If you're over 175 centimeters, which I'm told is 5'8", you can go ahead and raise it to the upper size. If it's for a kid or somebody below 5'8", go ahead and leave it on the lower set of screws here. So I went ahead and corrected this backing, and I got the screws back in, and then I attached it to the upper holes in the lower set on the plate so that it would actually be taller for me because I'm about 6 foot tall. Overall, chair is very well put together. I know, I did it myself. It was very easy to put together, very well put together. And the one thing I liked right here is they actually, when you put the headrest on, there's 2 screws that are there. This is the correction. They say to use screws D. You're actually supposed to use screws E, which are the threaded ones. The other ones, the D ones, go right here, and they actually put this cover on. So none will expose screw heads. You're not going to see anything. It's going to give that polished business look here. And went together really well. I put that cover on there that covers the last 2 screws. And now you have a all business looking office chair. There you go, with adjustable arms, adjustable lumbar, height adjustment. Here we go. You'll see me spin around a little bit, do some little testing of the chair, and it goes up, a range of about 3 inches. It's not a ton, but it does scoot way, way back there, as you can see. I left the tags on it even, but overall, incredible value in an office chair. Good look, and I used it honestly all day, and I could tell you, you can tell it's not a Herman Miller. Once I got this lumbar support just dialed in right, I was impressed for the value that you're getting here. Like I said, about the price of the headrest add-on for Herman Miller, you get the entire chair, and that was a great value. So, like I said, used it the rest of the day working, and very, very happy with the outcome there. So again, that is the P3 model, the upgraded model, they call it, with the included headrest. So Ron Moore says, mine does not have a lifting headrest or movable lumbar. Hey, man, I'm sorry. It can't all be perfect here. So just check it in here. Seems like the chair ships from the U.S., so the price includes shipping and U.S. import fees. And then Ron, oh, I'm sorry, man. He says, I literally just bought a replacement chair from Amazon last week. Too late. Well, let's see how that chair holds up. This one I'm very excited about. It actually worked incredibly well. So that was our first product. The way that normally works here is, again, if you do purchase this, full disclosure, I get a very small single-digit commission. Overall, very happy with the chair. And let me just show you lastly just a couple of those specs in here. So it's going to have a 30-degree rotating 5-inch lifting neck support there, 3.3-inch liftable arms, a 3.9-inch thick saddle cushion, and 145 degrees tilt. But overall, excellent looking chair, and I love the base. It's all metal base. So if you're worried about these things, usually it's the casters or the base legs or the arms that wear out first on these things. And so all of those components look to be super high quality in this one. We're going to move on to the next product, which is actually one where a lot of people have tuned in for specifically. I can hear you on Facebook, not on, oh, somebody had to get updated there. Somebody was just updating their settings. Okay. The next product I've actually got hooked up down here, and it is a 10 gigabit network switch. So let's talk about networking in general. I'm the net guy. I should probably know some things. You have RJ45, which is going to be your Ethernet cables, and then you have fiber optics. So we'll go in the top down. We haven't used the top down today. So this is fiber optic cable, and inside this cable are going to be very small glass strands. Well, technically one of them, and that is going to send a signal down this cable that's actually an optical signal, a light signal. So there's no wires. Now the rest of it is all insulation, shielding, give it a little protection, and then it's going to plug into this switch. The other side plugs actually into my router in the other room. I have a Ubiquiti UDM Pro router, and then that's going to have a 10 gigabit SFP plus port. So when you're shopping around, you're going to see SFP ports all the time. Let me zoom into this real quick. So you can see the front of it has this 10 gigabit SFP plus. So you open this up. If you look down there, there's actually an SFP transceiver goes in there, and that's like a little optical transceiver. So it's going to change from the light emission going down in that optical channel, and then it's going to turn it into ones and zeros that are electrical signals. You still need to switch all that. Let me talk about some of the components that I was going to use. I was going to do this the old way, and I'll show you how I was planning it and why that this product makes such a big difference here. So this is going to be a PCI Express network card. This one just happens to be from Mellanox, and it's designed for your SFP transceiver to go in the end of it. Now you can do 10 gigabit networking with RJ45. In most cases, it seems to be more expensive. It's going to be run a little hotter. That's what I've heard, is that the RJ45 SFP adapters can run a little bit hotter. The SFP plus ones, maybe that's some thermal issues. Additionally, you're going to have signal strength loss and other issues. These are 30-foot cables that I purchased as part of a kit, and I was able to run this cable. You do have to be a little bit more careful with it, but I was able to run this cable an extended distance and not have to worry about any signal loss. So that's pretty cool. And then this is the SFP plus transceiver. So this is the one that changes that from, again, electrical to optical. And then you can see down there, they have the send and receive channels. So that's the SFP transceiver that's going to slide into this. The way that you would install this is you would pull out one of the available plugs here, and you're going to install the module this way. And then you're going to apply the fiber. And then if you need to take it out, you can pull down on the module and pull it out. So there's many different manufacturers of these modules. There's many different manufacturers. SFP Plus is one standard. If you have an older Linksys like I did, you might have an SFP port, and that's limited to 1.5 gig, 1.25, I think it was. So that may not have the full switching capability. So what you'd have to do in the past, if you wanted budget 10 gigabit, and I was planning to do a video on that, is go to the corporate world and buy something this big. I got 48 ports here, and I did all that because I only needed 4 SFP plus ports. And this is going to have a huge power draw, big learning curve, all that stuff. Well, in comes Zyxtor. That's the company that provided this for a fair and honest review. And they sent this out. It's an 8-port managed 10 gigabit switch, all metal construction. I don't hear anything, so I'm guessing it's fanless as well. 160 gigabit switching capability. Let me get the box out here. We'll take a look at what you get in the box. I've already done an unboxing of it. And then we'll go through the admin console and you'll get to see it. Now, I can't vouch for performance and throughput because I still have to run the rest of my 10 gigabit in here. And we'll do a follow-up next week on this. But you're going to get a basic user manual. Now, the user manual starts out in Chinese, but you got to go forward a couple pages and then you'll get to the US instructions. There we go. So it's going to have all the specs and instructions for the US model. It's going to have everything in about it. Okay, and then American's checking in. He's my ombudsman when it comes to 10 gig. Don't forget to talk about DAC, direct attached copper, and 10 base T SFP plus modules that can run really hot. So yeah, that's the other stuff in there that we were talking about. Again, this is one way to do 10 gigabit, and I think it's going to be my preferred way. Looks like the switching capability is 160 gigabit. It's got 119.04 million packets per second. Sorry, MPPS. Transfer rates and a few other specs here that I'll post. But the idea is that this switch can handle up to 8 different devices direct. Now, you go 8 ports. Okay, I see those, but what's this other port over here? It's actually a management port. Now, they're going to give you a USB to RJ45 end management port. So that's going to be for what looks like your traditional cable. It is a console port. It is not a networking port. So when we talk about RJ45 cables and ends, or Ethernet cables and ends, you've got your category 5, your 6, your 7, your 8s, all that kind of stuff. This is one mechanism to do that. Now, I have shown you some hybrid switches, which is another neat option. So I had one that I was using a little bit earlier that had 2 SFPP plus and then 4 2.5 gigs. So you can kind of do some hybrid stuff there and uplinking. But I'm going to show you the rest of the thing that's in here is really just some pads for the feet for the bottom of it, as well as the AC adapter, which is over here. I'm going to read the numbers on the AC adapter. So it's outputting 12 volts at 2 amps. So it's a 24 watt device maximum. That's the maximum power that it can use. The nice thing about that is, like I said, if I grab that old corporate Aruba switch, which is my other path, it's a lot bigger than this from a physical perspective. Additionally, it's going to use a lot more power. So let's get logged in. We're going to do something really cool here. I'm going to see if I can do this real time. I haven't done this before today, so we're going to try. I just put this on my network not too long ago. And here we go. So I was able to bring up the login page for it. It does start in Chinese. So I'm going to show you that real quick. If you start in the Chinese mode here, I was just talking to some friends earlier today, you're going to see something that looks much like this. If you don't know what that is, you can click this down arrow. You can click the second option and it switches over to English. That's your language selection, I'm guessing. Now, I've got it actually on a port on my browser up here. You can see, hopefully. Let me see if I can actually plus this for you real quick. Is it going to let me? My screen magnifier. So that's the IP address on my system. Amazon's not going to let me show this, but the default IP address is 192.168.10.12 on this one. So I had to attach another IP and then change the default on that one. We're going to go ahead and log in. It's going to use a super secret password, which you can find in the manual. And then you can see right here all the information about the switch. So it's going to have 8 ports. This is 10 gig full duplex. And then it's going to have all sorts of other really cool things that you would find in a managed switch, which is really neat. I'm going to try to increase the font size for you guys so everybody can see this a little bit better. So IPv4 capability, has static IP capability or DHCP. In my case, I went with DHCP. It's going to have some of the web information here. It's going to have management of users. You can add users onto it. You can do firmware upgrades. You can actually upgrade the OS on it. When it comes to monitoring it, you can do a lot of neat stuff like here, the DDMI. It'll tell you the signal strength and temperature of those transceivers. So if your transceiver is getting hot or if there's anything else going on, that's a pretty cool thing. You can ping example sites. You can look at statistics by port. This again has not had any traffic really of significance sent through it. So I'm going to be doing some more testing here over the next week. I'm excited to bring it back on and we'll see how it does. I need to put this in my network. And then you can look at all of the jumbo frames, port isolation, port mirroring, all the really cool advanced features that you'd want to have in a managed switch are all here. Storm control, that's going to be good if you have some networking wiring issues here. You've also got some VLAN capability. Now, this isn't going to be managed like Unify or some of the other software managed ones. So you're going to have to set this configuration up. But overall, the nice thing about it is the affordability of this. Let's talk about how much this thing is. I'm going to bring up the Amazon page for it real quick, and we will take a look and see what it's currently running at. Normally, switches like this are incredibly expensive. Again, 10 gigabit is just starting to gain in popularity. I've been transferring files so much recently. I just recorded my daughter's choir. If you follow me on Twitter, you've seen a little bit of that footage. But I was recording my daughter's choir concert for the school the other day, and I had over 100 gigs of footage that I needed to copy to my NAS. My NAS supports 2.5 right now. It does have a slot for 10 gig, so I can upgrade it. And I'm really looking forward to doing that. Now, there is a couple ratings here I got to talk about. The reviews and the ratings here. One of them was talking about the admin password, and you can remove that. That is removable. And then overheats and throttles. But that was with 4 10 gig SFPP plus RG45, he writes here. So I haven't had any issues with it, but again, that's something we'll have to keep an eye on. The price right now is $139 minus 20%, which is $111. This is almost to the $100 mark to get a nice managed SFP switch, SFP plus switch, if you're going towards that 10 gig on a budget. And then again, a couple little things about it. Fanless design, it's going to have that speed going up to the 10 gig. Now you can train at lower speeds. It doesn't have to stay at 10 gig. So if you have a transceiver that's lower, as long as it's not, I don't think it's backwards compatible. You have to check me on that, guys, in the chat. Let me know if you think that this can run an SFP module at a lower speed. It shows that it can adapt down automatically, but I don't know if you can run SFP as well as SFPP plus. I think it has to be plus or not. So there we go. So that's the unit right there. I'm going to check the chat real quick, make sure I did not miss anything. Ron Moore says 140 and then 20% off. Yeah, that's less than I paid for my 2.5 gig. Hey, you know, they're coming down in price. Now they are going to cost you with the SFP modules and the cables and then the computer side, you know, so there is an investment in it, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to see where it's going here. Unmanaged, it's only 10 more. Oh no, Ron Moore. He bought one 8-port 2.5 gig with 1 10 gig SFP for uplink. It's unmanaged, and this one is only $10 more than that. That's pretty amazing. And then other than that, the Americans checking in says do they have a vendor approved list of SFPP plus modules? I bought a Sodolo switch that's very picky about the fiber modules. Yes, I've heard of that. Now this one, I grabbed the fiber transceivers that I had and they went right in and had no problem immediately. So we're going to find out if there is one, but we're going to see how that works. And Americans checking in, you can run SFPP plus modules at 10.5.1 if the module accepts. So it can train lower, but I don't think you can mix and match SFP and SFP plus. So that's another interesting thing. So I'm going to do some research on this. We're going to do some performance tests, and that'll be in next week's update. I'll do a follow-up with that. But I want to thank Zyke Store for sending this out. It's a very interesting product, and the price point is one of the first times I've ever seen a 10 gig 8-port switch down at this price with a web managed interface. It looks pretty nice. It looks like you could definitely manage the product there. So maybe, who knows, maybe even by next week, this will be running the show, because it's definitely going to be running on the network here. We're going to go on to the next product, which is actually another one of my favorite categories of products. And this is products for your car. So it's getting to be summer. We're doing a little bit more driving. Gas prices have already gone up a little bit, so we need to save a little money where we can. The next product up is actually for your vehicle. It is a CarPlay screen. Now, it's wireless Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. This is a 7-inch touch screen. Let's get you on the top down here. And this one is the most affordable one I've ever run into. Now, that's a warning label that just says don't use anything except the included parts here. This is the screen of the unit. So it looks like a fairly wide screen. It is 7 inches diagonally. It's clear and bright. Now, I'm doing a quick unboxing for you here, showing you what's in it. So it has this base that you can mount on your dash like I've done before with other brands. It's going to have a sticky pad just in case. It'll have screw options if you want to screw it down, sticky pad if you don't. If you just want to suction mount it, or you want to suction mount to a window or do something else, you can do that. This one does not include this one does not include a dash cam like you've seen on some other ones. There's an audio interface cable should you actually need it. And then we have a cigarette lighter adapter. Now, the cigarette lighter adapter will have one extra port here so that you can actually plug that in. It's saying that the USB-A is Quick Charge 3.0 compatible, which is kind of cool. And it's going to have a USB-C interface. Now, I could show it in here, but it's not very useful if I show it outside of a vehicle. So I actually have some footage of using it in a vehicle. The best thing about this one, this is the product user guide. So a couple of spelling errors here, but in general, the thing works. If you're using Apple CarPlay, it's as easy as adding this as a Bluetooth device, and the iPhone will do the rest of it for you. It does have audio options and a bunch of other cool features. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this over here. I'm going to go ahead and roll for you guys some pretty cool stuff. So we're going to go over here, and I'm going to show you a little bit earlier today how easy it is to install in your vehicle and get going. So as soon as that pops up, I'll give you a little narration. Now, the mount is exactly the same as one that I had previously on here. So I was able just to drop it in and push down, which is pretty slick. It fires right up. And then with your phone, you want to make sure that you add the Bluetooth device. And then all of a sudden, it's going to pop up your second screen over there. That quickly, you've trained it here. Now, I'm going to use the
navigate to UPS Everett.
And I had to do an errand. I had to go send something back to Amazon. So it's going to give me the location of the nearest store. And now I have a touchscreen interface that's legal to use while driving, unlike all the other ones when you're touching your phone. And so I'm just driving along here, and you'll see that the screen is clear and bright and updating wirelessly to my phone. So I'm going to do a little bit more driving around the corner here and through my neighborhood. Now, it does not have a dash cam like I mentioned. It does have a memory card, which I'm interested to see where they use that. I do think that they use this same model or same system across multiples. Maybe that's why that's got going on. If your car doesn't have an automatic shut off, I'm going to show you a way to handle that. So that's another interesting thing. And like I said, I think there's a version of this that does have the dash cam, because there's this hole right here where the dash cam portion would go. The amazing thing about this one, though, is the price. Let's go take a look at Amazon. I've got it for the people that are following me on Amazon. It's already featured. This thing is $70. Now, some wireless CarPlay interfaces for your existing car's CarPlay, they're almost $70 as is. This unit itself is $70 total, which I thought was a pretty amazing price. Again, reviews on it, we're getting some new reviews. We'll see how this works. I'm going to use it for a little while, and I'll give you a follow-up here. GPS navigation, you can't really mess up CarPlay. It either works or it doesn't, which I thought was really neat. And again, different options for mounting it if you want a permanent mount or a semi-permanent mount. In my vehicles, I went with the pad, the adhesive pad, and then I went with the suction cup. So it actually has two mounts. Depending on the vehicles you have, you could transfer this. I went on a trip the other day with my other CarPlay receiver, and I just transferred it between the cars. I'm going to be using this one now in my one vehicle, and I don't have to worry about it. So it's pretty cool. But overall, $69. Full disclosure, I do get a single-digit commission if you purchase that online or later. So want to thank them for sending this thing out. Overall, very easy to use, very easy to install, and I cannot stress enough how easy it is to have CarPlay and convenient. Now, if you do have a teen driver, we do in our house. Another thing that you can do if you have the Apple Screen Time capability, you can force it to use CarPlay while in motion. So if she's driving like she is now, she cannot send a text message. She has to use the verbal text features that come in through the Apple CarPlay. So that might be a safety thing to think about if you're looking at one of these and you have a teen driver in your house. So we're going to go on to the next product. So let me put some of these things back. And like I said, I'll give you a follow-up next week and tell you how it went. Do a little bit more testing on this one, but you've seen how to install it and what's included. Go on to the next one. This next product is very interesting, I'll tell you. It's actually been in the backdrop here. I don't know if anybody has actually seen it yet. I do need to pull it up on Amazon, and then I will pull it up on the show page. Okay, we're going to pull this up on Amazon. Okay. This is the first time I have ever seen a product like this. Well, what is it? It is a fan with 3 different speeds, a light for a regular light bulb replacement, and it fits in your existing light socket. Now, I thought about using this light over here because this is a standard Edison bulb. Now, you can adjust it. It does have different sizes here. I'll show you that. So this is an extension. If you want to just screw this into a regular base of a bulb and it has the weight support, it's not that heavy. So in most cases, I don't think this will be an issue. And you have the room for it. This is a really interesting find. It does have adjustable color temperature, which is another unique thing. If you do have, for some reason, a light fixture, maybe a lamp shade or something that's down enough, this extension piece just screws in. And I was able to fit this in one of the last lights that we have in our house that has a regular base, and that's in our kitchen. I'm going to pull this up for you guys so you can see it, but it was funny how well this thing worked. I'm going to show you the unbox first, and then we're going to show the light in action because this thing was awesome. So here's the fan and what you get with it. You're going to get a remote control. Did I mention it's also wireless? So you can go ahead and see here. I'm just going to do a quick unbox instruction manual. And then you're going to have the fan blades. All 5 of them come separate. Pretty easy to install. The unit's right here, just a cylinder shape. There's the extension I was talking about. There is a remote control we'll talk about here. Be real careful to make sure you pull that plastic bit out that preserves the battery. And that's what's actually going to enable the remote. Now, these fit only one way. You do have to push hard, but once they're in there, it actually comes out pretty well balanced. It has 3 different fan speeds, which is also cool. And this product is available right now on sale. I think it's a lightning deal. I believe it's $42, but it may actually be cheaper. So we're getting into summer. You want a little bit of airflow or breeze in your location? Check this out. I'm going to play the video for you of how I installed it in our kitchen. I almost left it in there to see if the wife would notice, but I needed to bring it down here to show you guys. I'm going to go ahead and show you just a quick operation video on how it works. So I'm going to go ahead and use the light switch to show you that the light actually works. I'll turn the switch off so I can take the bulb out. I take the existing bulb out. All I have to do is rotate this one in. Now it remembers the light position that you had. So go ahead and turn your light switch on. Leave your light switch on all the time because now you can use the remote to turn it on or off. So you can change color temperature from warm and cool. I was throwing my camera all off now that I'm doing this. You can raise the brightness up and down. So it gives you that wireless light control. And then you have 3 different fan speeds that starts blowing my curtains around here a little bit. It actually moves some air. I was surprised, even with that big housing that we have. Now, if you have a smaller housing or surround, this thing would work better. But this thing seriously does move some air. It does not have a reverse direction capability that I had seen, and there is no app for it that I'm aware of. So I just thought this was overall a really cool product. It won't remember the motor speed that you have it set on if you use the light switch, but it will remember the color temperature and the fact that the light was on or off. So that's kind of a cool memory feature that it has. But I do want to thank the company for setting this one out for a fair and honest review. I thought this was a very unique product. I can't wait to use it. The only problem is I'm running low on actual housings up here. Well, I can show you the ceiling of the studio is a little bit busy with lights. We got a few lights and a few cameras up here. One of my housings right here, is that, but I'm running low on actual standard bulb housings. But let me know in the chat if you think that you would use something like this. There's a quick question in the chat. Paul is asking, is the fan loud? No, it's not. And actually you can hear it, but it's fairly quiet, I thought. And when it's plugged in, again, the wireless controls, the motor is almost completely silent. And it's very, very light. I almost feel like I'm going to break it if I drop it, which I need to be careful because it is so light because it has to fit in that bulb and it doesn't want to overtax your bulb there. So pretty cool. Good question there, Paul. Thank you for asking that. Again, this is available online right now on Amazon. If you're following along with the show, you see a page like this. We can come down here and you can see 4.8 stars, the #1 ceiling fan light kit. Again, this was sent out from Ioni for a fair and honest review. I do get a single-digit commission if you do purchase these, but it screws into any light bulb. Maybe you have a really hot garage. That's one place where I still have a light I'm thinking of. You could put this in your garage and move some air around. That's another interesting idea. There it is, the socket extender for deep sockets. So maybe you have a recessed light bulb location that this might fit in. That's a really cool idea. There's some specs on it. So 3 speeds, 3 color temperatures, and 5 different lighting levels here. It does have a 4.8-inch extension, and it has a 16.5-inch blade diameter. So pretty cool. Works with any standard E26 or E27 socket. So that's the technical name for a standard American US light bulb. So there you go. So that was from the Ioni company. I want to thank them for, again, sending that out. A very unique product that I am looking forward to using. And I'm going to take us back to the show page. Got 2 products left for today that I wanted to share with you. Jonathan Talks Harvard says they make it seem big. Yeah, they do that on some of those photos. But very unique item. I think that could be really cool, especially you live in a hot place or someplace that's got a lot of humidity. Get some of that air moving. I'm going to pull the next product up. Speaking of air movement, and my daughter here, Argood says, already in the cart, family member that has to have a fan to sleep. This looks like a nice try. Awesome. Thanks, Argood, for checking in. Haven't seen you in a while. He's over there on the Amazon chatting with us. The next product, it can fit in almost any home these days, and that is a whole home air purifier. Now, we ditched the central air furnace concept before, so we don't have air that's moving around the house. We have mini splits. The problem is there's still air coming in and out of the home. One of the things that you'll run into, like we are in the Pacific Northwest, is forest fires and smoke have become a real big issue almost every single summer. We're dealing with red skies, smoke, ash on your vehicles. If you have a smoker in the family, I'm sorry, but if you know a smoker or somebody that's smoking by, or if you have pets or other allergens, pollen is a big thing. you could use a whole home air purifier. Now, the Wise Sky company sent this unit out for a fair and honest review. And I have to say, after putting this together, I've used several different units from Wise, from Levoit, from a few others, and we've gone back and forth on them. I've shown you a few of them. There's one that we've been using with our daughter. I think this is going to be her upgrade. I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. This is a very, very capable one. This one will do up to a 1,728 square foot home all on its own through this 3-stage filtration that they have here. I'm just pulling this out for you guys now so you can see all the different pieces. We're going to come here on the side. So first stage is kind of your pre-filter there. And then you've got your second stage filtration, and then you've got your screen on the back. So this is kind of one unit, and we'll talk about that. The purple one goes to the front. Just remember that if you're going to hook this thing up. And then those slide in as a complete cartridge into this unit, which is fully automated. At this point, when you turn it on, you don't need to use the app, but the app can actually help you out quite a bit. So I just turned it on. You may have heard the beep. See if I can get a better view here of the top of it. So it has a screen up there. And now it's sampling the air in my studio, and it's going to come back with a parts per million number. Oh, I just noticed I got a screen on back here, so I'm going to turn that off for you guys so you don't have to deal with that. So it's going to have that. Now, it does actually have an app. Let's talk about the app. So you can control this from your phone. The app is from Wise Sky Smart. So WISE Sky, SKY Smart. I'm going to bring it up here on the phone so we can use it together. I'm going to open up the unit. It is via Bluetooth, so you can see that. Now it's set on automatic, and the speed went down to 1 because the particulate here is 3 is their number, so very small. Now I could raise this up manually, and there's an audible beep as it's actually adjusting here. And then you can see my primary filter and the Wise HEPA filter here that they've got, and the quality on that. You can also set a sleep mode here if you need that quiet version. If you need to catch up, like if you're doing some cooking in the kitchen, you can turn the turbo version on. And if you have a light sleeper, like with our kids, whenever we use smart devices, I have to turn the status lights off on them. I have to turn the sounds off on them because I don't want, if we're adjusting it, the kids to wonder what that beeping is and get curious. So you can mute the unit right there, and then you can make adjustments with it on mute. So there you go. So that's overall how it works. Very simple to run. And if you don't have one of these filters, if you don't have one of these air filters in your home already, this might be an investment to make this year in your own house. So I don't know if they're covered by FSA, HSAs, or anything like that, but it definitely would be something to think about just for your own personal medical. One of the things that I notice, I get headaches if I'm around a bunch of smoke. So I've been getting headaches in the summer because of all the wildfire smoke that we've had up here. I'm going to show you some videos real quick of this unit. One, I'm going to show you the unboxing so you can kind of see how quickly it gets put together. There's only one real major step that you're going to have to remember here. So we're going to take this thing apart. There it is. The unit comes fully assembled. It does not have wheels. So some of the other units that I've shown in the past have had wheels, which is convenient. I wish I could show you that, but that's kind of the quick start guide that I was looking at right there. There's the instruction manual and link to the app as well. Fairly large unit, but overall, I like the shallow depth of it. I've used ones that are deeper, and so they get in the way of furniture. This thing could fit behind a couch. This is going to fit behind one of our chairs, most likely. There's going to be a couple removable things. If you've ever put together a printer, you know about that blue tape. So you're going to go ahead and pop it forward, and there are the 2 filter types. It is going to come pre-bagged, so your filter has never been used when you get it, and we'll take a look and see if they sell replacement filters and what those are going for. So this is the pre-filter, the second stage that I was telling you about. We're going to slap that back in, and then I play with the app for a little bit here. I am going to show you, just for the sake of cuteness, I'm going to show you where I was using this earlier and where it's going to go back to for a while, which is my daughter's new bunny. Now, pray for this bunny because it's going in for surgery tomorrow. When they say things are like rabbits, they mean it. This little bunny tends to like go after slippers, tends to go after stuffed animals or anything it can. It's a little male bunny, but with my daughter's room, this is Brownie. This is our little Holland Lopped bunny. Holland Lop, there he is. Uh, he has his bunny run below my daughter's loft bed. I made this loft bed. If you follow me on social, you figured out how I did it. But I put that thing together and then I put that in there and I actually put the purifier in and you can manually control and see how it runs there. But I only leave this in her room. Bunnies don't naturally smell, but the hay does. The hay that they eat, you have to eat, has more of a farm smell. So this will help keep that down. We found out was allergic to the first type of hay we tried. So this would have helped a lot with that. And there is Brownie. He's again going to the vet tomorrow to get snipped. So pray for him. But that is a great product. Again, if you're looking for something for your whole house, let's take a quick look on Amazon for this one. Just because, again, if you're a pet owner, if you've got sweaty teenagers at home, if you just want your house to smell better overall, get this thing here and you will be in good shape. So dust odors, 1,728 square feet. As I mentioned, they have the Wise HEPA filtration. So dust, pollen, smoke, and pet hair or fur. You'd be amazed at how much that can be. 7 different speeds. It is fully automatic. There's all the VOCs, NO2, SO2, and other hazardous pollutants that it removes here. I'm trying to see if they actually have the filters. I'm taking a look. It does look like it can be run with your Echo device. And I'm going to take a look later. Oh, there's the filters. The carbon pre-filter is $19. And the main filter, it looks like, is $90. So that's your consumable costs in here. I'm trying to see if it tells us how long the large filter is going to last in here. So it cleans up to 223 CFM. I'm trying to see. I don't see a duration that the filter will last, but we'll find out about that, and I'll bring that information next week. So there we go. That was from the Wise Sky Company. Our second to last product today. I'm going to check real quick, make sure we have no questions on the Amazon page. So, and if you guys want to see the bunny one more time, just let me know and we will bring the bunny out here and you can see him one more time. I'm going to bring this off for a second and I'm going to switch to our final product, which if you're interested in cleaning up this summer like I am, this is going to be something that everybody can use. Here we go. And that is a tank sprayer. So I was getting ready to clean up the yard, kill all the weeds and grass that didn't need to be where they're not supposed to be because we're starting to get good weather here in the Pacific Northwest. And I went to use my old sprayer. And again, I've got one of those hand pump ones. I've got a little spray one. All of them quit working. We had a deep freeze. I think it froze and broke, unfortunately. So I got a new sprayer, and this is actually a backpack model. So we've got 2/3 of an acre. Got a lot of gravel areas, a lot of planting beds that need to be sprayed and cleaned. And I searched into high and low to find the best one. And this one is the best I could find, the Field King. I just put it on here. It's from DB Smith Company. It's a 4-gallon tank sprayer. Very easy, comes almost fully assembled. And I go ahead here, put the wand on. There is a pressure reducing valve. So if you want to have some more control, you put this little valve in. It reduces the pressure from 150 max PSI down to 25. And then it has a long distance nozzle along with 3 or 4 other jets to set different fan spray patterns. Now I'm going to go ahead and fill it up with Roundup. The ratio was 6 ounces, by the way, per gallon. So I'm going to go ahead and put about a half ratio in here. I think I only filled it to 2 or 3 gallons. I didn't go all the way to the very top here. But also for weight, you don't have to use it as a full sprayer. The nice thing is the shape of this thing is going to let you have access to all of that fluid. So I think, again, I only filled it about halfway. I did have one mistake. I put the arm on too soon and I had it facing the wrong way, but the arm is ambidextrous. This is the pump handle. So instead of having to pump those little tiny spray bottles that I've had to do over and over, just a few pumps, this thing builds up pressure very quickly. And then you'll have your hands free because it's a backpack, so you can very easily use it. Couple quick tips here, things that I learned, mistakes I made is the other name for them. I went ahead and charged the thing up. I'm going to show you how the actual usage of it uses here. But that little pressure reducer, you only need that in one situation. And I'm going to see if I have the video here of the sprayer being used. And we'll get to see that, show you how the usage works. So that little nozzle, if you have that sprayer reducing valve there, it is going to reduce it. You'll want to switch to one of the other nozzles, the red nozzle or the yellow nozzles, and take that valve out if you're trying to look for a spray pattern like I was. So I sprayed it initially and it wasn't working the way I wanted. I wanted to kill all this grass and it was putting out a stream. So I went back, read the manual, and it told me how to fix this to actually switch over. And so I went and adapted that. I left the pressure reducer valve and I went over and I sprayed again. And guess what? It wasn't working. So I pull that reducer valve out and put a new end just directly back on. And then it gave me the spray pattern that I was looking for. And then I'm going to show you here, just running around. Very easy to use. It is a little bit harder to use when you're carrying a GoPro as well. But I went through very quickly. That's the one thing I noticed about this. The spray pattern is so wide and does the volume that I could do this. You know, this is only sped up, I think, 4x. But I'm just able to walk around and hit those planting areas that I don't want weeds in. So I want to keep the grass here, and I'm pumping it up again one-handed. And then, I'm killing off blackberries. I want to keep the Oregon grape here, so I skipped that. I want to kill some of this creeping vine that's going over there, so I did that real quick. Kill some of the grasses that are growing in this beauty bark area. I'll fight with some blackberries here. And then you'll see me, we have a lot of beauty bark planting here, so I'm just clearing off and killing all the weeds that are popping up in this beauty bark. You can see me walking along, spraying and going. But again, makes it super easy and it's kind of fun. So this is available right now. It is on sale on Amazon. I just pulled it up in the cart. If you're looking at it in the carousel, it's $84 right now. And I'll tell you, I shopped at home stores. The cheaper, more discounted models were way more expensive than that. So if you're looking for a sprayer, you can spray fertilizers with this. It doesn't have to be killers. You can spray Roundup or Spectricide or Weed Be Gone or any of these other killers as well if you need to. But this is a definite summer tool that I found effective, and it's already working. I was outside looking at all the weeds wilting away and getting ready for summer. That is the show today. We showed all the products. I want to thank the first 5 companies that we showed that were products that were sent out from sponsors. And the last product was one that I wanted to share with you because it's actually worked so well. Again, if you visit my show page down there, amazon.com/shop/thenetguy, you can see all of the products that we had on here earlier. If you take a quick look at the show number 412 idea list that has all the products and links to them, I will check back in with you guys all next week to see if you have any questions and let you know how some of the stuff is working. So thanks again for tuning in. I will catch you guys all in the next one. And I'll let you know how Brownie does at the vet tomorrow. Thanks, everyone. Catch you all later.